I just want to start off by saying it's Geek Week, so make it awesome. This week's rant comes to you from a Fracking Gag order. Fracking Gag order. Now, you probably think I'm dropping some 7th century Germanic smack talk, or maybe that I'm describing some fraternity hazing ritual that will most definitely lead to more than one near-death experience and probably a lawsuit. Which, as you'll see, leads us right back to the Fracking Gag order. Fracking, or hydraulic fracturing, is, in the briefest sense, a way for energy companies to get a lot more natural gas from each drilling pad. I've included links for a lot more info because this video was just becoming too long. But I want to pose the question, is fracking convenient? Yes. But you know what would even be more convenient? If the people living next to the drilling pads would just shut up already about their stupid water contamination. Because while fracking seems like it should be a safe practice on paper, admittedly, some things might have gone wrong in the past. Like, I don't know, maybe hydraulic fluid containing highly toxic chemicals spewed all over some grazing pastures, killing a bunch of farm animals and soaking into the ground. And just maybe some natural gas at other drill sites leached into aquifers, making people's drinking water, you know, flammable. We'll get back to all that, but first, you know those rights you have that are protected by law? I ask because for a lot of people I've met, rights are kind of like your lateral malleoli. You might not care that you have lateral malleoli, you might not even know what they are, but if for whatever reason some guy decided to surgically remove them in your sleep, you wake up to discover that you suddenly care a lot about those bony lumps that used to be on the sides of your ankles. And if you hobbled out of bed, you'd probably fall on your face. Because I don't really want to be the one to tell you this, but you got no lateral malleoli. Now let's bring it in. Last week in the news, a family that believed that their health problems were the result of fracking activity around their house took the companies responsible for the drilling to court. And as part of the settlement, were awarded $750,000. Which is awesome, right? Yes, except for that little part where they had to sign a statement saying that the energy companies were not responsible for their health problems. And also where they had to literally sign away their First Amendment rights to freedom of speech regarding the issue, which apparently means that they will never be able to speak of it for as long as they live. Whoa, hang on! So the energy companies paid money to a family for causing them health problems, but would only give the money when the family said that companies didn't cause the health problems, which, if true, would have precluded the necessity of these companies forking out $750,000 to the family in the first place. No, this is the good part. Because the parents of this family only agreed to say that the fracking companies didn't harm their health just so they could get the settlement money they needed to move away from the fracking sites to get their health back on track. How can one person cope with this much irony? But the final stroke of irony is the fact that the court order which demands the victim's complete silence is causing such a loud buzz. I mean, the part where companies effectively bribed a family through a court order pretty much speaks for the family and says a lot about the companies. But I guess that's just what you get when you cut off 4 people's constitutional lateral malleoli, throw money at them, and tell the kids to forget that it ever happened. But people of the tube, now I want to hear from you. Should courts be allowed to give gag orders about information that could potentially harm the public? And when should courts conceal information to protect businesses? Comment, subscribe. And in a completely unrelated note, how do you, would you, or will you celebrate Geek Week? Let everyone know in the comments for a chance to get a shout out in next week's rant.